Good afternoon, Meridian, and welcome to our 2020 virtual gala event. While we'd all love getting together in person and connecting with our friends, neighbors, and colleagues in a festively decorated banquet room with music, food, and drinks, that's not how it's done in 2020. However, as this year has proven to us, with a little ingenuity, technology, and investment in computer cameras and microphones, we can stay connected and possibly become even more connected with the things going on in our community. I want to take this opportunity to thank our virtual gala sponsors for helping bring this year's program to you. TDS Fiber, Idaho Central Credit Union, United Heritage Insurance, and Micro 100. And a special thank you to our video sponsor, Peppershock Media, for working with us to bring you the videos for this year's Man and Woman of the Year and the keynote message from Kristen Armstrong. Thank you all for your continued support. The mission of the Meridian Chamber of Commerce is to enhance the Meridian area business community by promoting economic development, growth, and prosperity, and doing this in a business-friendly, community-connected, family-focused way. This last year has been challenging for everyone. I joined the Meridian Chamber in January thinking we were going to continue the tremendous growth that the Chamber had been experiencing over the recent years and just try and stay out of the way of the great things the Chamber had going. Like almost all of the 600 plus businesses that we represent, all of that changed for us in March. We had to quickly adapt, pivot, modify, do all of those things that you have to do when disruptive change happens in your industry. But like you, we had to do this in a very short time frame to survive. The Meridian Chamber is well known for its networking events, the monthly luncheons, First Fridays, ribbon cuttings, trade shows, and our very, very popular business after hours events. But for the health and safety of our community, those events had to be put on hold. With the support of our great board of directors, the Meridian Chamber of Commerce developed a plan and put it into action. In April, we knew that one of the most important things we could do was to support our business community with the information and messaging on when and how to reopen. With the support of our board and some great community leaders, we developed the Keep Meridian Healthy and Open for Business campaign. We knew Meridian was healthy both personal health and economic health front. But as we opened up in May and beyond, we wanted to make sure that our local businesses do it in a safe manner to encourage the public to come back to their stores and to keep them open going forward. We held online workshops to provide information on the Paycheck Protection Program and others CARES Act resources for the business community. We held webinars so that business sectors could share best practices on reopening protocols and how they intend to keep their patrons safe. We came up with ways to facilitate our virtual ribbon cuttings and to share with the business community and the public information on new business openings and remind them of some of the tried and true members of the Meridian Chamber of Commerce. Our bi-weekly Business Buzz social media program has become a great way for us to connect with our member businesses and the larger online community. We continued to bring business community the important information they needed to stay involved, such as political forums, both in the primary election and the general election. With them being virtual, even more candidates participated, and we reached thousands with our online programs instead of the hundreds we could in person. While almost all of our events, except for our annual golf tournament this year, were canceled, the Meridian Chamber has worked to bring you over 40 interactive and engaging programs online so far this year, including the first ever virtual State of the City address in June with our new mayor, Robert Simonson. Just last month, we supported our Meridian restaurant community with the Taste of Meridian restaurant tour. 47 local dining establishments participated, and we showcased the culinary delights and the dining options right here in Meridian. At the end of the program today, you'll learn more about our newest campaign to support the Meridian business community. The Meridian Chamber of Commerce is here to support, advocate, and promote our membership. We encourage you to become a member of the Meridian Chamber of Commerce and get involved, even if it is only in the two-dimensional sense right now. Stay connected with our weekly newsletter and our growing social media presence. Get involved in some of our committees and their great work still going forward. We will return to normal, but we'll return with having learned new skills, developed new talents, and persevered through great challenges. We have seen our community come together to support each other this year in ways that we could not have imagined. Meridian is positioned to thrive, and we have a great business community to lead the way. Please join me in welcoming our current board chair for the Meridian Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, Cheryl Adams.
Thank you so much, Sean, for all of the great insight and information that you gave us. It has been such an honor to serve our business community and to be a part of the Meridian Chamber for the last 6 years. I've had the opportunity to meet so many amazing business and community leaders. This past year has been difficult for so many businesses and to our community, but we've seen everybody step up, come together, and help in so many ways. I am proud to live and be a part of Meridian. I want to thank the staff for all their dedication and heart that they have for each of you. Sean, for keeping all of us board members on our toes, staying on top of all the COVID and all the continual changes, and trying to think outside the box to help our businesses. Michelle, for always willing to go above and beyond for our members and always having a smile on her face. I want to thank all of our community members for volunteering their time to better our community. We currently have 3 board members that are retiring or rolling off the board in 2020. Roger Friend with ESI Construction has served on the board since 2016. Thank you, ESI and Roger, for your participation. Tiffany Quillisi with Roaring Springs Wahoos and Pins filled the remaining term for Pat Morandi, and both have been a great supporter of the Meridian Chamber. Thank you for always hosting our annual board retreats. Retiring this year after serving on the board since 2014 and serving in almost every capacity from board chair to interim president CEO, Jeffrey Hall has led the Meridian Chamber through many transitions and much growth. The donuts for being late will definitely surely be missed. We want to thank all of our 3 of our retiring board of directors for their service to the Meridian Chamber of Commerce. And this season's change must the leadership of the board. It was my great pleasure to serve as your board chair for 2020. It is also my honor to pass the gavel and announce that Dennis Massaros with St. Luke's as the new board chair for the Meridian Chamber of Commerce of Directors for 2021.
Thank you, Cheryl, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Dennis Maceris. I currently serve as the Vice President with St. Luke's Health System in Meridian. And thank you all for your time. I'll share that I've been at enough real and/or virtual events to understand that no one is interested in a very long message. That said, it is so important, especially during these times, to show gratitude towards one another. And today, I'd like to show some of that gratitude towards Cheryl Adams. Cheryl has served as the board chair over the past year, and I'm sure everyone here would agree it has been a past year that has been tumultuous at times. A pandemic, a lockdown, murder hornets, fires, and the elections. You know, during these times, Cheryl has provided just steadfast leadership to the Meridian Chamber. She led the onboarding of a new president and CEO. As a CPA, she's provided just tremendous financial oversight and support to ensure the chamber sustained and helped us all see a path forward. She's facilitated greater engagement with National Job Shadow Day to invigorate our youth with what are those career opportunities to stay close at home here in Meridian, Idaho. Cheryl obviously cares about the community. She's engaged in the professional development of other professional women, all while balancing a busy career and family life. So thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for your service on the chamber and within the Meridian business community. So personally, As the incoming chair, thank you for having the trust and faith in me to continue to move the Meridian business community forward. You know, two leaders have really paved a path forward. I too would like to recognize Jeffrey Hall, who's demonstrated what being engaged in the business community looks like for his fellow board members. Secondly, Cheryl, you know, she has, and thank you, Cheryl, this is just a focused approach that you provided around financial stability in trying times. I will commit to doing the best to live up to your needs, to partner with Sean, Michelle, the other board members to deliver on a value proposition for you, our chamber members. With that, I have the pleasure of introducing new additions to the chamber board. Joining the board, well known as a local business community champion, is Kevin Kuhn from Glass Doctor. Representing the growing hospitality industry within Meridian, we welcome Nick Magdalene with Hilton Garden Inn and Homewood Suites. And lastly, given the restaurant industry comprises 50% of our chamber membership, reflecting the restaurant industry on the board, it is critical to please welcome Lou Malone with Louis Pizza and Italian Restaurant. Please join me in welcoming Kevin, Nick, and Lou to your Meridian Chamber Board of Directors. These three are joining John Jensen, Janine May, Ashley Hanover, Carol Adams, Michelle Glaze, Ramona Merrill, Shane Nelson, Reed Brimhall, Chris Miller, and Casey Fontaine. The Chamber is also privileged to have both Mayor Robert Simison and Dr. Marianne Reynolds of the West Ada School District serve ex officio officials on the Chamber Board. So with that, we would like to now introduce the Man of the Year sponsor, John Jensen from R.C. Willey. John has an interesting story of a bet with Warren Buffett that if you ever have the opportunity, you should engage John with that story. Also, in days it seems too far ago, John was ever present at so many ribbon cuttings. So please welcome John Jensen.
Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that. I also want to thank and welcome the new board members that have been recently put on the board. It's a privilege and an honor to serve on the Meridian Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. When it comes to support in the community, it's hard to rival the engagement of our next sponsor. From the exciting way to engage the public to their easily recognized vehicles roving around the Treasure Valley, Idaho Central Credit Union is always there to support the community. This year, they are sponsoring the Meridian Chamber Man of the Year Award. Please welcome Vice President of Wealth Management, Chris Jepson.
Goes to Chris.
Presenting R.C. Willey so well and the board of directors. I look forward to hearing more about this Warren Buffett comment. It is my pleasure to represent Idaho Central Credit Union this year as a sponsor of the Meridian Chamber of Commerce Man of the Year Award. Since 1953, the Chamber has recognized an individual for their support of the Meridian business community. Sometimes this was a small business owner going above and beyond in his involvement with the Chamber. Other times, it was an employee of a business that led in a way to make their company proud. Regardless, the Man of the Year was someone that the selection committee, made up of previous honorees, recognized as someone deserving of this honor. It is my extreme pleasure to introduce you with this video, the 2020 Man of the Year, Mr. Nick Grove.
An innovator, a change maker, and a leader. Nick has given so much to this community in very subtle and humble ways. Nick has worked really hard, very often behind the scenes, to ensure that people have the support that they need for his passions in the areas of business and technology in particular. Nick took the idea that we had 3D printers at the library that were just being unused because we were closed in March, and found a way to mobilize local libraries to help produce PPE, face shields, ear savers for healthcare workers, for nursing homes, first responders. He really took charge and demonstrated a lot of leadership in finding an opportunity to contribute yet again to serving the community in a way that had a desperate need at that time. Nick is often looked to help steer a project that needs to get off the ground. Nick is someone with a lot of ideas. He is sought out for his ideas. When I first started my position in 2013, Nick sat down with me and brought me a 2-page list of ideas of ways to make the library better. And within the first year, I was able to go back with him and look at all the successes that we had made. And I think everyone who knows Nick knows that experience of what it is like to sit down with him and have him present a list of ideas of ways to make things better. And the best part about working with Nick, in any capacity, on a commission, on a board, is that he finds ways to take those ideas and turn them into action and make them a reality. And they are improvements. They are improvements to a process, they are improvements to a product, and he has committed his life to helping people be successful. It's really exciting to watch. Congratulations, Nick. People recognize your work and are excited about working with you. You bring so much to the table, and I'm so proud of all the work you've done over the years for really going above and beyond in service to the business community and the Meridian community at large.
October of 2000, I got my first library job working for the city of Lewiston in Lewiston, Idaho, at the age of 14. And I worked at that library for 4 years as a library page. And by the time I left there, I was going to business meetings in the mornings to talk to the chamber. And I was able to work on all types of projects, from a pen pal project to presenting at city council for children's programs that we were doing. I was given an opportunity to try and experiment with new things and go beyond what my actual job duties were. And that was my first exposure into the library world. From there, I moved to Moscow, Idaho, and attended the University of Idaho for 4 years, and moved down to the Boise area without a real plan, and kind of grew to embrace the ecosystem and the energy of the Treasure Valley, and found my way back into libraries, never assuming that that would be the career path that I took. In the middle of March, we were hearing needs of PPE and being somewhat prepared because it hadn't hit our general area here in Idaho and the Treasure Valley specifically as hard as most areas. And so we wanted to help do our part to get out in front of it. Our library was closed at the time, and so we brought the 3D printers to my house and set up my garage, and we also moved the laser cutter into the garage as well. And over the next few months, we would 3D print the plastic headbands for the face shield, and then laser cut the clear visor, sanitize the items, bag them up, and provide them to community organizations and businesses throughout the Treasure Valley and throughout the state. Our library printed over 1,000 headbands, over 1,000 of the visors, and we coordinated and led the coordination of other area librarians and community members to help with the production of those pieces, and we organized them, sanitized them, and got them distributed. We are happy to have provided that opportunity for our community and keep the machines running for the library, and utilize a resource that would have otherwise been sitting unused and not having the community impact that it I think is vitally important for all of us to find ways to make that contribution. My 2 boys are with me all the time, and during this pandemic, I've had the opportunity to spend even more time with them, and it's been a very fun journey, and I include them in everything that I do, be that 3D printing, laser cutting, or just thinking through new ideas that we can experiment and try new things with. Leadership is an important part of what I've been able to accomplish in the few years of working in downtown Meridian. And I was fortunate enough to serve as president of the Downtown Business Association for 2 years and change some of the back-end processes to get us moving forward and engaging not only the business owners and property owners, but the public in general. My personal thoughts on leadership are to always lead through action. I am flattered and not great at accepting awards because I am a person who prefers to take blame and share praise. And so this is a very difficult piece for me to humbly accept this award, and I'm happy to be honored with this opportunity, and I look forward to working with all of you to improve Meridian and maintain the values and the opportunities that have been created through the years to make this a wonderful city to live in and grow in. Thank you, Sean and the Chamber of Commerce, for this award. I could not do what I've been able to do without the help and support of so many people, specifically my team with Unbound, Gretchen, and the Meridian Library District, Mayor Simison and the City of Meridian, Ashley and the MDC, and Lindsay and the MDBA, and the opportunities that we've been able to work on throughout the years. And I appreciate all the help that I've received and look forward to the journey that we will take in shaping the future of Meridian. And I just want to say thank you to my two boys, Malachi and Micah, for always allowing Daddy to play with new ideas and help me with those projects, especially as we did the PPE this spring, and all the help that you provide. And thank you for this award again, and I appreciate this community and all the beauty that we have to share.
Congratulations, Nick. A global organization, United Heritage calls Meridian home and has been a strong supporter of all chamber events and programs. This year is no different. We are proud to have the support of United Heritage Insurance as this year's sponsor of the Woman of the Year Award. This year, Rob McCarville, Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer, has the honor of announcing this year's recipient.
Good afternoon. I'm Rob McCarville. I'm one of the past chairmen of the board for the Meridian Chamber of Commerce, so it is my honor to do this presentation today. I'm with United Heritage Life Insurance Company, which is located here in Meridian. I'm the company's Senior Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer. As a company, we have enjoyed our affiliation with the Chamber over the years, whether it be as a member or sponsoring a number of events that we have done. Since 1980, the Meridian Chamber of Commerce has announced a Woman of the Year for her accomplishments in the Meridian business community. This year's honoree does not shy away from the spotlight, whether it be when she is on stage or working with young people to develop their talent or self-confidence. This year's honoree is wearing many, many hats, as she is involved with a number of organizations in the Treasure Valley. But she calls Meridian home, which is where the Treasure Valley Children's Theater resides. It is my pleasure and honor today to announce the 2020 Woman of the Year for the Meridian Chamber of Commerce, Autumn Kersey. Congratulations, Autumn.
My name is James Fullenwider. Like many of you, I've known Autumn Kersey for a number of years. We've worked together in the arts and in theater, in business together, and in civic and community activities throughout the valley and the community. Autumn is an exceptional person, and for any of those reasons, she would be worthy of the award that she's been given tonight. But to stop there is to miss the essence of what it is that Autumn does in this world. And it's right there in front of you with the motto of the Treasure Valley Children's Theater: changing the world one theater kid at a time. This is Autumn's gift. This is what she truly excels at. Over the years of supporting the theater and working with her, I've had the opportunity to not only see these kids blossom in productions, but as a sponsor of some of these kids, actors, and of the summer workshops and classes, I've been able to meet them personally and see the impact that the Treasure Valley Children's Theater, Autumn, and her talented staff have had on their lives. These kids develop a place of purpose, a sense of fulfillment and empowerment in their lives that they didn't have. And beyond that, they help the other children to develop those same things. And in today's world, all of those are a challenge for young people. And at Treasure Valley Children's Theater, they find a home and a means by which to have better lives for themselves and the people around them. This, more than anything in Autumn's life, is deserving of not only tonight's award, but of any award. Autumn, you've done absolutely terrific. Well done. Thank you. It has been an honor and a privilege to be a part of it, and it is quite the privilege to be your friend. Keep it up.
I'm Autumn Kersey. I'm the founder and executive director of Treasure Valley Children's Theater and a multimedia executive with the Idaho Business Review. I'm an Idaho girl. I was born in Boise at St. Luke's Hospital, but I grew up in Twin Falls, Idaho, class of 1994. Go Bruins! From there, I discovered a love of the theater arts at a very young age, around age 9. That brought me to Boise in '97 to continue my education at Boise State University. Go Broncos! I found myself doing a lot of volunteer work in the community, working with kids, specifically in theater, through Boise Parks and Recreation and Boise Little Theater. And the summer of 2000, that led to our very first Boise Little Theater Parks and Recreation production. I directed Bye Bye Birdie. Fast forward several career hat changes, because that's what we do. The summer of 2012, I was once again in the director's seat working with the kids at Boise Little Theater. And I had this amazing collective of parents come to me and say, we need this all the time. We need something for our kids, and we're ready to invest in you. Will you take a risk? The mission, the reason why we work with kids has not changed from the beginning, which is theater is a toolbox, and all of those tools contribute to the kind of leaders that I want in our community. Respectful, compassionate, caring. We love to create great theater, but we really love to change lives, and that's what we're doing. The work that we do at TVCT is absolutely driven by the incredible team there. Mary Jensen, my co-founder and artistic director, and also one of my very best friends. Allison Terenzio, who stepped into the role of education director when we didn't even know what that was. And Melissa, who joined our team. She moved here from Colorado. She didn't know what she was getting into, and she's hooked. And is one of our best educators. And I love the spirit and the energy of my team. It is such an honor to be recognized, particularly among an incredibly deserving group of past honorees, and a heartfelt thank you to the Meridian Chamber, of course, and to the selection committee. Thank you to the community of Meridian for seeing the vision, for jumping on board with me, for taking the chance. Meridian is our home. It is the place that we intentionally selected to be the headquarters of our company, and we wouldn't continue to do what we do without the continued support of our leaders and the businesses and the compassionate people in Meridian. I don't necessarily feel like I'm worthy, but I accept it graciously, and I thank you for recognizing the work that we're trying to do in the Treasure Valley. Oh boy. Again, a huge thanks to the Meridian Chamber and that selection committee and the businesses that step up and support us, to the Meridian Arts Foundation and James. Wow, you can write my speeches. To the Meridian Arts Commission and to the incredible leadership here in the city of Meridian for recognizing a dream 9 years ago and putting your energies behind it and helping Treasure Valley Children's Theater really make a home. And to my family and my support system, family for me is so much more than who I'm related to by blood.
It is the people who stand behind you when you really need a lift up, and they are there for me all of the time, and they know who they are, and I thank them. And we are not going anywhere, folks. We have a huge future ahead of us, and we know with your continued support and with the love of our community, we are changing the world.
Congratulations, Autumn. And good afternoon, Chamber members and guests. I have had the opportunity to work with so many people over the past 3 years in my role at the Meridian Chamber. One of the best groups of people to work with is our ambassadors. It is my pleasure to introduce our sponsor for the Ambassador of the Year, Micro 100.
Micro 100 is a manufacturer of solid carbide cutting tools. We engineer product for a wide range of metal removal applications in various industrial markets, including medical, aerospace, and firearms. Micro 100 has been a proud member of the Meridian Chamber of Commerce for 36 years. This year, we are proud to acknowledge the Ambassador of the Year. The Meridian Chamber of Commerce Ambassador Committee is the hospitality arm of the Chamber. The ambassadors are dedicated to making new and existing members of the Chamber feel welcome. All the ambassadors represent the Chamber with distinction. Each year, the Chamber recognizes one for going above and beyond. This year's honoree relocated her work life to be even more engaged and is now working right in the heart of downtown Meridian. She has been supported by facilitating one of our MC Leads groups during a challenging year and continues to promote the value of Chamber membership to all she meets. She has personally helped recruit numerous new members this year. It is my pleasure to announce the 2020 Ambassador of the Year, Mrs. Terry Trevino.
Good afternoon, Meridian.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be selected as the Ambassador of the Year for 2020. Very excited. Earlier this year, I accepted a position at Compass Benefit Advisors, and we are working right downtown in the center of Meridian. So I'm proud to say I now live and work in the beautiful city of Meridian.
Good afternoon, Meridian. I have thoroughly enjoyed my involvement with the Meridian Chamber over the past 6 years. I've been involved in committees that bring you speaker series, golf tournaments, and annual galas. Now, with my role on the executive committee, I have the honor of introducing you one of our sponsors. This sponsor is a new chamber member as of 2020, and they have come in extremely big. They joined the chamber at the platinum level membership, and they told us that they wanted to get really involved and support the chamber and its programs. Please enjoy this message from our keynote message sponsor, TDS Fiber.
Want better internet? It's coming. Register now at tdsfiber.com. Why now? Get free installation and HD for life. TDS Fiber. It's big.
Good afternoon. My name is Tony Sutton. I'm the Associate Manager of Field Marketing for TDS Fiber. Speed matters, whether it's a new fiber to the home internet service, like here in Meridian, or an Olympic race. It is our honor to introduce today's keynote speaker. Kristen Armstrong is the most decorated U.S. women's cyclist of all time and the best time trialist in sports history. She's a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, 2-time world champion, and has won 6 U.S. national championships. Kristen is the only female U.S. athlete to win the same event, time trial, in 3 consecutive Olympic Summer Games, taking home the gold medal in Beijing in 2008, London in 2012, and Rio in 2016. Additionally, Kristen became the oldest female cyclist in history to win an Olympic medal when she won gold in Rio, one day before her 43rd birthday. Kristen graduated from the University of Idaho, go Vandals, with a BS in exercise physiology. She spent her free time on public speaking engagements and recently opened Pivot Lifestyle and Fitness. Kristen is married to Joe Savola, and they have a 6-year-old son named Lucas. Kristen and her family continue to reside in the Treasure Valley. Please enjoy this message from Kristen Armstrong.
Kristen Armstrong has been called the most decorated female cyclist in history. Over a span of almost 2 decades, she dominated the sport of women's road cycling in the time trial, what's known as the Race of Truth, where individual cyclists compete for time along a specified course. No group strategy, no drafting, purely competitors, the course, and the clock. In 2006, she announced her official entry into the world of elite women's cycling by laying claim to the UCI World Championship in Salzburg, Austria. In 2008, at the Summer Olympics in Beijing, she outpaced the world's fastest riders to become the greatest time trialist, a feat she would repeat and then three-peat. In 2009, at the UCI World Championships in Mendrisio, Switzerland, she finished nearly a full minute ahead of her closest competitor in a race that's usually decided by just a few seconds. Then again in 2012, in front of hundreds of screaming fans, she crossed the finish line with the fastest time just outside Windsor Castle in London and was joined on the podium by her 2-year-old son, Lucas, the only fan who mattered. In 2016, on the day before her 43rd birthday, she became the oldest female Olympic gold medal cyclist in Rio de Janeiro. As a committed career and family woman, amidst becoming a mother, raising a family, and simultaneously navigating a successful career in advertising, sports medicine, and community health, Kristen achieved all of this incredible athletic success.
I want to tell you about the Kristen Armstrong who wasn't a 3-time Olympic gold medalist. In fact, she wasn't even a single-time Olympic gold medalist, and she never won a world championship either. Heading into Beijing, her pro team disapproved of the time trial bike that she and her husband had built with meticulous precision, the bike that was just grams over the specified weight limit. So she rode what they wanted her to, and no matter how hard she pedaled, she couldn't generate the force to outpace the competition. 9 weeks before the London Games, she crashed in a prologue race and broke her collarbone. Training was just too hard, too painful. She couldn't do it, couldn't recover. So she watched the Olympics, slumped deep in her couch. She was chosen for the team in Rio Olympics in 2016, but another racer challenged her selection. People were saying she was too old and washed up. They said it's time to give someone else a chance to win. So she backed down, she conceded. And Team USA, they left Rio empty-handed. Fortunately, that's not the Kristen Armstrong I am, but it is who I have been at times and who I could be. So I quit track at the University of Idaho, just my 2nd year in. I rode my bike one day to the YMCA, and then I asked a coworker for a ride home that same day. I left it in my office for a month because the last thing I wanted to do was ride it home. I unquestionably qualified to compete in the 2004 Athens time trial, but they decided to replace me with another racer. I actually let it happen. And that was the last time. Over my career, I developed a crucial understanding of a concept that I want to share with you today. Every year, hundreds of articles are written and dozens of books are published, all laying claim to the recipe, the prescription, the methodology of success, these 12 characteristics, these 15 attributes, these 10 traits, one weird trick, clickbait, everywhere. They are all selling you something, and a lot of them work. They have aspects of what it takes to succeed. But here's where I'm a little bit different. I believe that what we achieve is more about, well, the application of whatever set of traits we choose than it is about the traits themselves. It's more about the intensity and the commitment with which we apply the traits we select. I have concluded that my experiences over the past 20 years are not unique to cycling and not unique to life. We all have moments of joy and elation, success. We all feel pain, we all suffer. We all win, we all lose, we experience failure. This is all just a part of being human, common humanity. Where we depart and differ is that in these moments, some of us descend while others ascend, and even more select few, well, we actually transcend. So what does it mean to transcend? That's what I want to tell you today. So many of you know that together with some partners, we have recently opened fitness centers across the Treasure Valley. And as we have been going through this process, we've tried to narrow down what it is we want to impart to people who are looking to actually pivot in their life, in their physical health and well-being, to make a radical transformation. And we have divided what we teach our members into 3 phases. I believe we can divide every action we ever take into 3 simple categories: how we prepare, the way we ready ourselves; how we execute, the way we perform; and how we live, the way we exist. For me, how I prepare consists of the way I see, set goals, and plan. So I mentioned Athens. It was my first Olympic experience. I mean, I was starstruck. In the birthplace of the Olympic Games, the road race had actually went around the circuit several laps through the historic center of Athens with the Acropolis in the background, home of the gods and goddesses, towering right above us. And I finished 8th, the top American, and just 3 seconds behind the bronze medalist. But I didn't lose my opportunity to medal in those 3 seconds. I lost it weeks, months before, and I lost it because my vision was insufficient. It was to get to the Olympics and just make the team. My vision was good, but it wasn't superlative. I made a plan, but again, I didn't make a map. The transcendent version of planning is what I like to call mapping. So I'll take you to Beijing and explain. So not in the summer of 2008 for the Olympic race, but in the winter of 2007, when I went to make my map, my coach, Jim Miller, and I, we flew over to China, a super uncomfortable itinerary, 26 hours to see this course. A hilly section along the Great Wall of China. It was absolutely beautiful and amazing. My husband, Joe, he sent me with his Garmin to track the course elevation. I know how this sounds, pretty commonplace today, but I'm telling you, at the time, it was cutting edge. In fact, he had the Excel spreadsheet out. It was amazing, plotting the entire course. When we came back home, Joe downloaded this course, the elevations, and started making comparisons on, well, it was called Google Maps, as it turned out. I plotted a perfectly correlated course on the road to Bogus Basin, just less than a mile from my house. And it didn't stop there. There was this one section of Beijing which had a really hard turn at the bottom of the last kilometer, and you had to shift from your big chain ring to your small chain ring. Well, 2 years before that in the World Championships in Salzburg, Austria, I dropped my chain. Similar situation. Well, fortunately, the mechanic was trailing me that day in a car, and he jumped out of the car, was able to get the chain back on, and it still allowed me to post the fastest time of the day. But if that happened in Beijing, it'd be over for me. Again, Joe and his brilliant engineer mind, he devised a solution, and what we called it the K-edge. It was Kristen's edge over her competition. And so it was a simple attachment that would nudge the chain back into place if it were to happen on that day. This is how mapping is different. It's beyond strategic planning, incorporating not just preparation and key steps, but also accounting for eventualities, risk, and impediments, building pre-decision logic trees, and counteracting competitors. I'm talking not just a path to success, but a map with mile markers, elevation lines, real-time traffic feeds, and alternative routes. Not a plan, but an active living map. And that's how, in Beijing, I was able to achieve not what I had just envisioned, but what I had foreseen. Foresight, it's the transcendent version of vision. I'm saying that I didn't just picture myself atop of the podium. I actually foresaw myself on the podium. The national anthem was playing, raising the American flag, the gold medal high in the air, the camera zooming in, which is why I thought before the race, I better get my nails done because I want them pretty when I hold up that gold medal. What I didn't account for was that mascara of mine that would run down my face because tears were coming down. That's transcendent preparation. But what does it mean for you? What does it mean for your business? There are some words that I just don't like. No, it's actually worse than that. There are some words that I hate. You want to hear one of them? Wonder. I wonder about people who wonder. In business, there's absolutely no time and no space to wonder. And you have to anticipate. Just last week, the governor. So he had this big announcement that he's going to be making in the afternoon. And somebody came up to me and said, I wonder what he'll say. I try to hide my disdain. He can't, and we can't afford to wonder. If his statement is to issue a mandatory statewide mask mandate, there are implications for me and my business. If he's shutting down fitness centers, our virtual classes and coaching have to be up and running flawlessly. If you're wondering, stop wondering. Start mapping, start foreseeing. Account for your competitors' actions, trends, and regulatory changes before they happen. Wondering leads to surprises, and surprises suck, especially in business. You can't afford to be surprised. Even better, use those trends or regulatory changes to differentiate yourself and your organization. Capitalize on other people's wonder. You surprise them when they least expect it. And while we're at it, here's another lesson. Figure out what words you hate and hate them hard. I mean, eliminate them from your vocabulary. Banish them from your presence. Execute. This is the way we perform. For me, this is about how I handle pain, my level of focus and attention to detail, and the intensity I give my actions. So after Beijing, I took 2 years off from professional cycling to start a family. My son Lucas, he was born in 2010, and being his mom has been the greatest joy in my life. It's been like a superpower. Yeah, it's also been the greatest challenge, but it's all worth it. I didn't race again until 2011, and coming back from being pregnant and what it does to your body proved to be a really big challenge. Not so much in my abilities as in other people's perceptions of my abilities. You see, I was already at the upper end of the typical age that female cyclists compete at when I won my first gold medal, so convincing those powers that be that I was up to the task was exceptionally difficult. But I rode really well that summer, and in August of 2011, I actually boarded a plane to Copenhagen, Denmark, expecting to compete in the UCI World Championships, which in hopes would secure my spot in the 2012 London Olympic Games. But when I got off the plane in Copenhagen, I was bombarded by messages, and before I could even check them, the phone rang. Joe, my husband, was on the other side, and he said, "Kristen, you've been arbitrated out. They took you out of the time trial race, and you won't be competing." I seriously went down to the luggage, got right back on the plane, and went home to America. Didn't even leave the airport. I was devastated. Obviously, you can see I am still mad now. Enter ruthless execution. This was a phrase that my coach Jim Miller and I began to use to describe the level of intensity we brought as we prepared to secure a berth in the London Olympic Games in 2012. We would not be denied. My races in 2012 showed it. I was crushing the competition, and I had a chance to put an exclamation point on that. In fact, there was a race right here in my hometown just 9 weeks before the Games. So we have a prologue, which starts off, it's the opening race of the event. It's a quick warm-up kind of style for the stage race ahead. We were doing it around the heart of the city on Capitol Boulevard. I lurched out to an enormous lead, and by the midway point, a broad turnaround at the top of a small hill by the train depot, I was 13 seconds ahead of the closest rider. As I went to make that turn, my tire caught some grooves in the road, and with my feet securely clipped in to the pedals, I crashed, and I crashed hard. Helplessly, I was on my side, kind of on my back like a helpless turtle. Couldn't get up, plunging my shoulders straight into the asphalt. In an instant, I knew it was broken. My collarbone completely twisted, disconnected, and began to swell. I did the only thing I could. I picked myself up, got back on my bike. I propped my bad arm against the handlebar, held on tight with one good arm, and heaved into the pedals. The pain was intense. I did what you do with pain when you want to execute transcendently. I didn't give in to it. I didn't push against it. I ate it. I chewed it up and swallowed it. I made it my power. It wasn't the first time I had done it, and it definitely wouldn't be the last. That's transcendent execution. After the race, it didn't even take a full 24 hours before I had been dismissed. Headlines were, "Kristen's out," they said. What they didn't know was by that time, I had already had surgery. And what they would see soon was a video of me on my trainer indoors, not just saying, but showing the very opposite. I was in to win, and nobody was going to stop me. And I did win. I got to experience a moment that I had been foreseeing with intricate detail. My son with me on the podium, sharing the joy. One I will never forget. A moment nobody can take away from me. But they did try to take it away from me before it ever happened. Which brings me to what I hope you can take away from my experience. I want to warn you about theys. They are out there. They don't want to see you execute transcendently. They don't want you to win. And the worst they is the they that is inside of you. I know you have heard them. They tell you that you're too small. They tell you that you're not enough. They tell you that all kinds of mean and nasty, untrue things. So I will tell you what I have told myself again and again and again. And still, I have to tell this to myself most days. Believe in yourself and block out the noise. Don't listen to them. And do what you do, not to prove it to them, but to prove it to yourself. The way we exist, for me, This is about how I create my surroundings, how I balance my roles, and the posture of my everyday mind. On this point, I want to illustrate what has always been a key differentiator for me. I mean, we'll agree that confidence is a trait that, we all hope to have someday. And confidence is great, but it's only the ascendant version of optimism. Take it negative, descendant, and you find pessimism. We can agree that pessimism never got anyone anywhere, but let's talk about the transcendent version. I call it data-driven confidence. Think about that. Again, after the Olympics in London, I took 2 years off from professional cycling. And I've always felt that I would be a better athlete by being more than just an athlete. Well, that and the fact that 2-year-olds have, a way of taking up all your time and attention. But by 2015, I was riding professionally again and mapping my way to Rio. There's a lot that happened along the way, but a big part of it was battling those days we talked about. But suffice it to say that I found myself in the Olympic Village in the summer of 2016. And much different from my first Olympics in Athens, I had an entire team around me, my coach, my team manager, a doctor, and so many others. But none more crucial than my husband, Joe. And Joe had a surprise, one that my sponsors were not gonna like. So the rear wheel on my time trial bike, it's unlike any other typical wheel, like a spoked wheel. It's a solid carbon fiber disc it gives you the maximum aerodynamics. And so one of my team sponsors manufactures these wheels. And as you can imagine, they want you to ride with their equipment, especially if they think you're gonna win. And Joe had been back and forth with them all spring, all summer, objecting that the wheel they wanted us to run was spec'd for a 275-pound rider. I probably don't need to tell you that, I weigh just a little bit less than that. You likely have metrics in your business that are critical to measure and understand. In cycling, and particularly hilly courses, weight is everything. And rotational weight, even more so. So for a period of several weeks in the summer of 2016, Joe had tested discs from different companies, riding the same stretch of road for the exact same period of time with a power meter measuring consistent output in wattage, which is also power. What he found is that using a lighter disc improved the efficiency to a degree he could not ignore. When you race professionally, yes, you race for your sponsors, but when you compete in the Olympics, you actually compete for your country. When I got on my bike in Rio, it had the lightest wheel out there. And not only that, where most women ride with power meters, we had actually removed my power meter to shave just a few more ounces. I smoked everyone on the climbs. And when I had just minutes to go, I'll never forget. So my coach is in a radio in my ear. And he comes through and says, "Kristen, you're in the medal count. My job is over. It's up to you to decide what color you're gonna go home with tonight." Well, I decided on gold and I ended up on that top step of the podium once again. Optimism is unfounded. Confidence is loosely founded. But when you have a solid foundation to your confidence in the form of hard data, your mind can get your body to do amazing things. We had our data and we trusted it and we acted on it. You must do the same. Be painstaking in your collection of data and believe in what it tells you so completely that it reinforces your confidence in a way that makes it unshakable, and make that the way you posture your mind. Create your surroundings in the form of a team and a culture that accepts only the best. That is unsatisfied with the phrase, "we can't do that," and replace it with, "how can we do that?" And give your life not just balance, but multi-directional equilibrium. The saying, "too much of a good thing is not a good thing," has it right. If being the best athlete requires being more than just an athlete, and being the best businesswoman also requires being more than just a businesswoman, and importantly, being the best mom requires being more than just a mom, if you can do these things, you're living transcendently. Energy, effort, and will. So I've told you enough about me. The more I talk about my journeys, the more I realize that these stories are no longer about me. My experiences in cycling over the past 20 years have been amazing. But here's the thing, they're in the past. They're gone and done, and I've taken from them what I could take from them. So if the stories are shared and live on, it's so that somebody else can take something from them. What can you take from them? Your purpose for this gala is to recognize tremendous achievement. And while you're lauding this achievement, pause for just a moment and recognize its origins. So where does tremendous human achievement start? Well, it starts with how much energy we muster, where we direct our effort, and the solidity of our will. Energy is a physical storage of fuel for effort. Calories are energy. We decide how much we create. I mean, we can eke through life with minimal energy, or we can create it in such abundance that it literally courses through our veins and glows through our pores. Effort is a transformation of energy into power. Watts are power. There's a formula for human exertion. We choose how we use it. We can expend it in frivolous pursuits, or we can engage it for the higher purpose of supreme accomplishment. Will is how badly you want it. Do you want it more than how bad it hurts? It's intangible. You can't touch it. You can't see it. You can only feel it. It is entirely inside of you, and yet it is what makes all the difference outside of you. Tremendous human achievement comes in the superlative application of energy, effort, and will. We can choose to descend. We can choose to remain flat, stagnant, or we can choose to ascend. And there's a fog in ascending. The peaks of the biggest mountains in the world sit above the cloud layer. So also do the peaks of human achievement. They require that we do more than just ascend. They require that we transcend, that we get above the fog and the clouds with our preparation, our performance, and our existence. Bear, I've shared it. You have this knowledge. You can decide what you do with it, but I'm going to at least extend the invitation. In all the ways that you prepare, execute, and live, will you take your energy, your effort, and your will just a step beyond? Will you transcend?
Thank you, Kristen, for those wonderful words of inspiration and encouragement. And thank you, Tony and TDS Fiber, for your support in helping us bring this message to the Meridian business community. And congratulations to our 2020 honorees. You're all champions in our eyes. Special thanks to Idaho Central Credit Union, United Heritage Insurance, and Micro 100 for making sure we did not miss a year honoring our local heroes. We look forward to working with the new Meridian Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors in the coming year. But today's November 12th, and the holiday season is upon us. Many of you have already started your Christmas shopping, and many of you are contemplating what holiday shopping might look like this year. To help you with those questions, the Meridian Chamber of Commerce has launched our Shop Meridian campaign to encourage you to look right here in Meridian at all of the great shopping opportunities that our community offers. To tell you a little bit more about the Shop Meridian campaign and to get you in the mood to start shopping, allow me to turn it over to Michelle and Marlene.
Thank you, Sean. As we can see, Marlene and I have been out and about talking with local retailers and gathering up all these bags. We spent some time going around town this week to collect items for our online auction and to promote our Shop Meridian campaign. I know a lot of you are wondering what it means to be part of the Shop Meridian campaign. So I thought Marlene could help explain what it means for a Meridian Chamber member to participate.
Yeah, you bet. So any Meridian Chamber member who runs a retail or a service industry business and might have great gifts for this holiday season can donate to our online auction and then benefit from 6 weeks of social media, newsletter, and print campaign support promoting their businesses and the Shop Meridian campaign. Mm-hmm. The sign-up process is really easy. Just visit the visit meridianchamber.org/shopmeridian, and you'll find a link to easily register your business and become part of the campaign.
Yeah, and since you mentioned the online auction, did you know that our annual gala and the auctions usually generate about 15% of our annual fundraising goal?
Wow.
And you can imagine this year has really taken its toll on fundraising for everyone.
Yeah.
So we have gathered some cool products, services, and even vacation packages that can be purchased to help support the Chamber's annual programs and community events. So if you're in the holiday shopping mood already, be sure and visit the Meridian Chamber website, where you will find a link to Shop Meridian, and you can view all of the online auction items and support the Meridian Chamber with your bid and your purchase.
Yeah, I have been having so much fun with our intern Haley, getting everything loaded up into our auction site. We'll be accepting donations to the online auction all the way through the 20th, but the auction doesn't close for bidding until November 30th. So I hope everyone checks it out before Black Friday, because some of those gift cards can help you save on those deals that are coming down. If you are not successful in winning the product in the online auction, be sure to visit that merchant. I mean, I'm sure that they have more items that they can sell you from their store, right? You can purchase
Absolutely.
directly from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, why don't we go ahead and take a look at a few of the items already on the online auction.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited. So let's start out with one of the trips, or we'll talk about some of the vacation packages we have. We are all looking forward to the day that we can travel again, and what a better way to get through the winter than to have a great vacation already purchased, organized, and ready to go. We have 4 vacation packages available in our auction this year. One takes you to sunny Sedona, Arizona for a spa getaway.
Oh,
Doesn't
nice.
that sound amazing? Another takes you across country to tropical Key West. And then we have a 7-day, 6-night Call of the Wild Alaska cruise that looks amazing. And for those really wanting to get into the wild, check out the Wild Wonders and Fine Wines African Photo Safari. All these packages have a 3-year window with no blackout dates to go on your trip. Isn't that ideal?
That really works, yeah. But if you're looking to stay in Meridian, but would still like a unique experience, you need to bid on the dinner with Mayor Simison. 4 guests will enjoy a home-cooked 3-course dinner featuring
The Rub
on a New York strip steak, complete with all the accompaniments. Beverages will consist of 2 bottles of wine from the Walla Walla Valley and a house signature cocktail, or other options based upon the guest's preference.
How nice. That sounds awesome. For those of you shopping this year for kids and grandkids, be sure to check out the brand new Xbox Series X in our auction, donated by R.C. Willey. I think that this console was just released on Tuesday, and it's going to be kind of hard to find this holiday season, right?
Oh, you bet. You bet. But I can imagine there are many children and grandchildren that would love to find that under their Christmas tree.
Yep.
So. Well, yes, Marlene, and we have many more great ideas for gifts in our online auction already. From artwork to season passes to Roaring Springs, home services, and even gift cards to the Village at Meridian. There are a lot of options already on the site and more to come in the next week.
I know, there's so many great choices. Be sure to bid on your items because the online auction closes on the 30th. You can text Meridian Gala, text Meridian Gala to 22-454 and you'll get an automatic link to our online auction site. Stay connected with the Meridian Chamber on social media and watch the Business Buzz Facebook Live programs every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. to find out more great gift ideas during our Shop Meridian campaign running now through December.
Oh, I can't wait to start shopping. Well, let's turn it back over to Sean to close out our program today.
Sorry. Yeah, you both got me in the holiday shopping mood with your suggestions. I just placed a bid on the Xbox, so y'all go after it. Thank you, Michelle and Marlene, for all those great gift ideas. And be sure and visit the Meridian Chamber auction site over the next 3 weeks to support the Meridian Chamber programs with your bid or purchase. Once again, thank you to all of our sponsors for this year's virtual gala: TDS Fiber, United Heritage Insurance, Idaho Central Credit Union, Micro 100, and Pepper Shock Media. Thank you to all of our chamber members for allowing us to represent you, the Meridian business community. Remember to do your part and keep Meridian healthy and open for business. Thank you.